What's going on? This is Better Than You, back again, and today I'm gonna show you guys some beta stuff. Ret Paladin's got some pretty minor changes overall. Some spells were taken away from us, some spells were given to us, and it looks to be pretty good from where I'm sitting. So first of all, we're gonna take a look at our talents. Come over here and you'll see that our specializations, all we have are 3 specializations, and you'll get mostly everything that was in the old talent trees in here. If they're not in here and it was very important, it'll be either in a glyph or in one of the new talents. So everything that you'll need, we'll go to our spell book real quick if I can find it. See, they split the spellbook up into spells that you'll have as Retribution, which I hate this spellbook. This spellbook is the worst. I don't know what they were thinking, but here is spells that you would have if you were in Holy, and spells that you would have if you were in Prot, and stuff like that. But if you come back up to the Ret, you'll see they gave us a new spell called Emancipate. It is basically like our cleanse that gets us out of movement impairing effects, so that's pretty cool, except it costs a lot of mana. It costs 25% base mana, so you won't be able to spam it. It makes it so that we can be slowed at some point, so it's okay. Divine Storm now costs 3 holy power. That's a big change. So instead of just using Templar's Verdict as your finisher with 3 holy power whenever you're AoEing, you will have a Divine Storm to throw out, and it does some pretty good damage. Also, don't worry, we got Hammer of the Righteous for our AoEing. This is an awesome spell. Unfortunately, it shares a cooldown with Crusader Strike, which that was expected because that's what it did for Prot in Cataclysm, but it's pretty awesome for AoEing, and it gives weakened blows, which reduces the physical damage dealt by 10% on all enemies that it hits, so that's pretty awesome. Inquisition remains the same. Exorcism, they built the proc into Exorcism, so it's always instant cast, it always has the damage boost. Now it generates a charge of holy power. It has a 15-second cooldown, so we are guaranteed to be able to use it once every 15 seconds. That is awesome. They also kept the proc Art of War, and now it just resets the cooldown, so that's awesome. So even if we don't get it while the proc is up, even if we can't use it while the proc is up, we'll still be able to fire one off whenever we can. Come back over here. Hammer's Wrath is still the same. Everything is basically still the same, except we lost Zealotry. We did lose Zealotry, and Judgment now gives us a charge of holy power no matter what. It doesn't say it right there, but it's a passive thing. It always gives us holy power. One major change that we got is our seals no longer have a duration, which is awesome, and we don't have auras anymore. No more auras, which I love because I always forgot to change my aura. I did. I'm guilty. And that's basically it. We lost Consecration, we lost Holy Wrath, so we lost our 2 fillers, but they didn't really do much for us anyway, so it's no biggie. Blinding Light, sorry, is our level 87 talent. It emits a dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, causing them to wander disoriented for 6 seconds. How awesome is that? It is not. It is the crappiest thing ever. I hate this, and it should not be a level 87 spell, especially compared to the Shaman's new level 87 spell, which turns them into this freaking Ascendant and they can do powerful shit. We can't do that. No. We get Blinding Light. Thank you, Blizzard. Thank you. Also, Blessing of Might no longer gives us attack power. No. Gives us 5 mastery, which is cool, but you're going to take Blessing of Kings over that because it gives us 5% strength. So, screw you, Blessing of Might, basically. That's what they did. Now, we can go back over into our talents. You see what they did with the specializations? They put our core abilities in here. Art of War, your auto attacks have a 20% chance of resetting the cooldown of Exorcism. So it's the same, but they built some of the proc into Exorcism itself, so that's pretty cool. Come over here into our talents. The level 15 is all about movement speed. All about movement speed. Speed of Light has a 1-minute cooldown, increases your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. This could be useful if you're in a fight that you have to stand still for a long period of time and then you have to get to another spot, kind of like maybe Madness of Deathwing. This would be useful. But in mostly all situations, I'm going to go with Long Arm of the Law because we are going to be keeping Judgment on cooldown, and Long Arm of the Law does exactly what it did before, except you don't have to be 15 yards away. You can be anywhere you want and get that movement speed increase, which is sweet. The other one, Pursuit of Justice, is you gain 10% movement speed at all times plus an additional 10% movement speed for each current charge of Holy Power up to 3. So that's pretty awesome, but we're not really going to be keeping Holy Power anyway. I mean, we'll be generating it a lot, so we'll always have Holy Power, but we will never have up to 3 like constant, so it's just basically useless for us. So I'm going to go with Long Arm of the Law. I'm also going to go with, they changed Repentance. Repentance can be picked up by every paladin. It is now a talent. What it does is it has a cast time now, 1.5 seconds, and it does what it did before, except it doesn't have a cooldown anymore. So it's basically like a sheep. It's basically like it. And that is pretty awesome. I might pick that up for raiding, but for leveling, I'm going to go with Fist of Justice. It's basically like our Hodge right now, except it has a 30-second cooldown, and you can do it from 20 yards away. That is pretty freaking awesome. Level 45 talents basically are useless to us. I mean, you can pick up Sacred Shield and put a shield on yourself every 30 seconds if you really want to, but we're not really going to be taking very much physical damage, so that's not really, I don't know. I guess it's not just physical damage, but still, it's not that great for us. Eternal Flame uses our Holy Power, so we never want to pick that up. And Selfless Healer, I don't really picture us, it might be the best one, but I don't really picture us using Flash of Light that much in a raid. I mean, if we really need to get topped off, we can obviously pop it, or if someone needs heals, it does 100% extra healing to others if it's stacked up both times, so that's pretty awesome. Unbreakable Spirit is what I'm going to go with here in the level 60. There are plenty of things, but you could go any way with this one, to be honest. Clemency, it basically does what Unbreakable Spirit does, only Clemency, it's a 5-minute cooldown, and it automatically finishes all the cooldowns. So that's awesome. But Unbreakable Spirit, when you Divine Shield, Divine Protection, or Lay on Hands are on cooldown, spending Holy Power will reduce the remaining cooldown by 1% per Holy Power spent, up to a maximum of 50% reduction. So you could Lay on Hands down to a 5-minute cooldown, Divine Shield down to a 2.5-minute cooldown, Divine Protection down to a 30-second cooldown. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And I think I'm going to be picking that up all the time because Hand of Purity This is more like a healer one, if you ask me. Places a hand on a friendly target, reducing the damage of harmful periodic effects by 70% for 6 seconds. You could see a tank picking that up, but I don't see a Ret Paladin really gonna be like, oh hey, he has a periodic effect on him, I'm gonna switch to him, put that on. Stop my damage is the main thing. I'm gonna stop my damage to put this on him and let him go about his business. I don't see us doing that much, so I'm gonna go with Unbreakable Spirit because it's just overall awesome, I think. Holy Avenger is basically like Zealotry, except now you don't need Holy Power to activate it, and every ability that we have that gives us Holy Power will give us 3 charges of Holy Power. Still lasts 20 seconds, and look at all these abilities that give us Holy Power. Crusader Strike gives us Holy Power. Exorcism gives us Holy Power. Judgment gives us Holy Power. Hammer of the Righteous gives us Holy Power. So if we're AoEing and we pop Holy Avenger, it's no longer useless to us like Zealotry was, because we can Hammer of the Righteous and then Divine Storm, Hammer of the Righteous, Divine Storm, blah blah blah. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. And it's also awesome on single target because we can like Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, Exorcism, Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, Judgment, Templar's Verdict. You know, it would just get ridiculous at that point. The other ones are Sanctified Wrath. You gain more frequent access to one of your abilities during Avenging Wrath, which is now on a 3-second cooldown, by the way. For Ret, it gives us Hammer of the Wrath on no cooldown, which is pretty cool, but it's not powerful like Holy Avenger is. And Divine Purpose, it's basically what Divine Purpose did before, only it now procs off of abilities that cost Holy Power. So it has a 15% chance when using something that costs Holy Power to proc Divine Purpose, which I think is really stupid and I think it's really weak, and they need to change it in order for someone to want to go into that. I mean, it might be more sustained damage, but Holy Avenger is going to average out to being more damage, in my opinion. Level 90 talents, these are going to be interesting, and I cannot wait to test them out because they all sound very good in their own ways. Like Holy Prism sends a beam of light toward a target, turning them into a prism of holy energy. If an enemy is the prism, they take X amount of damage and radiating X amount of healing to 5 nearby allies within 10 yards. So that is awesome. And it's on a 20-second cooldown. You can definitely use this as a Ret talent because it does a lot of damage and it heals people. So you can be that assist healer thing. So it's pretty awesome. And if you use it on an ally, they are healed for that amount and then radiate a lesser amount of damage to 5 nearby enemies, which is pretty sweet. Light's Hammer sounds awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds awesome. It sounds like you're gonna turn into Thor or something and throw your hammer into the ground. Basically, hurl a light-infused hammer into the ground where it will blast a 10-yard area with holy magic for 16 seconds. The hammer deals X amount of damage to enemies within the area and X amount of healing to allies within the area every 2 seconds. So it's basically gonna average out to being about the same damage as Holy Prism is, but it's gonna take some work. This will probably be used more in an AoE fight, and this may be used more in a single target fight. That's how I see it coming down to. Also, there's Execution Sentence. It's basically like what those guys did before Atramedes in Blackwing Descent. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing increased holy damage to the designated target for the next 10 seconds and culminating in a final burst of damage. It doesn't say how much damage, so that'll be interesting to test out. I hope it's really awesome, because that would be sweet to watch a hammer slowly fall onto an enemy. That's just me. But the other one is Stay of Execution. If used on friendly targets, the falling hammer heals the target for the next 10 seconds and culminates in a final burst of healing. It sounds cool, but I don't see holy people picking that up. I see them more picking up Light's hammer, but who knows. Actually, they could pick up Holy Prism and it would be pretty effective, even if they use it on the enemy and it radiates to 5 nearby allies. That would be pretty sweet. So I can't wait to get to level 90 to test this out. Right now on beta, level cap is at 87, which is kind of crappy, but hopefully we'll get to level 90 soon and I can test those out for you guys. I'm going to learn these real quick. And this is Better Than You. I am out for now. I'll be coming out with a video. The only dungeon, unfortunately, right now that is open is Temple of the Jade Serpent, and I've done it to death, but I will do it again for you guys and show you guys some of the Ret Paladin damage and maybe some of the healing, because I also have a healing spec, and I love to heal. It's awesome. I'm also going to bring you guys the monk. The monk healing is awesome. So stay tuned for that, and Better Than You out.